you finally get signed by WWE, you have the trial, you get signed. Do you remember where you were when you got the phone call or you found out you were getting signed, and what was your reaction?
It was an email I got, and it was I was in Japan. This was 2015. It was, I think it was June 30th. Yeah, I think it was June 30th almost. Maybe June 29th. I've got it on my phone. And I got the email, and I was in the room with like 5 other girls. I was there for Stardom in Japan, and Stardom, what they do with all the foreigners, the Gaijins they call them, they put them in an apartment. So I was sharing this apartment with like 5 or 6 other girls. There was 2 Mexican girls, there was 2 Americans, and a European and myself, and we shared this apartment. And for some reason, even though there was like 3 or 4 rooms in the house, we were all in that one room. So I get this email, and I can see it's from WWE, and it was taking ages to load up because the Wi-Fi wasn't good, because we had this thing, like a square box, like a pocket Wi-Fi, and that was for all 6 girls to share. So if you've got girls that want to Skype families or FaceTime, then you're kind of in a situation where the internet would be really slow. So I was waiting, the email would not load up, and I was like, I was getting really annoyed. And then I think I read, and then it came up, and then my eyes went to one sentence, and then I was like, oh, and I just went to the toilet, because I knew that I couldn't, like, I needed like to process. And I ran into the bathroom, and I think the girl was just, I ran into the bathroom. And I was just sitting there, and I read the email, and my eyes just went to, we won't accept you into NXT. And I couldn't believe it. Like, I think I was too shocked to start crying, and then once the shock wore off, I think the Niagara Falls came out of my eyes. And then I text my sister, and I text a couple of other people, and was just, even now I can't explain what I felt. It just didn't feel real. Like, I think even the entire process before I actually got to Orlando, I kept thinking, I didn't actually think it would happen. Like, it felt so unreal to me. And then when I finally, I landed in Florida in April 2016, I was like, oh, it did actually happen. And it's still, and even then, like, it's a year later, I've been with the company for over a year now, and even now it doesn't feel real. So it's just weird. It's weird.
And you made history, first ever Scottish woman to be part of NXT, and I wonder kind of, because when you come into NXT, I guess you don't really know yet how you're going to be introduced on television or what your role's going to be, and you get the role as part of SAnitY, and it kind of fits you to a T, that would be your role. Can you talk a little bit about finding out you're going to be in that group, and you're going to get to be the crazy sort of Nikki Cross, and how did that come about?
Well, it was funny. I remember SAnitY, the vignette started to air Brooklyn Takeover, so most of the crew were actually in Brooklyn, and I was in Florida, and I was watching it at a friend's house, and funnily enough, like, Alexander Wolf was like sitting right beside me at the time, and I didn't know they were going to be in SAnitY. And the vignette aired, I was like, well, this is pretty cool. It was like a mob scene, and like the vignettes, I don't know if you remember them when they were aired, and people throwing bottles, and I was like, oh, this looks like Glasgow on a Saturday night in Tucky Hall Street. That's quite good. And then I guess it must have been a month later, I think September, and Triple H was in the gym, and I was trying to choose my time to go and say hello. I hate interrupting people. Like, if they're working out or if they're doing something, I hate interrupting people. So I was trying to like find the right time, right, as they rested between the sets or whatever, but I wanted to say hello, and I finally kind of saw my chance. So I like went over, and I was like, hi, how are you? And he was like, hi, how are you? And I was about to kind of just, and then he said, hey, Nikki, can I talk to you about something? I was like, oh, okay. I was like, okay. And he was like, I don't know if you've seen the vignettes for SAnitY, the vignettes. And I was like, yeah, I've seen them, they're amazing. And he was like, yeah, we're thinking of putting you with them. What do you think? And I was like, I know what I thought, but I can't actually say it out loud. So I was like, hell yes, all right, we'll go with that. So I was like, I was like, definitely, that's amazing. And he explained like the group and the role I would play, and I'd basically be the group's like little crazy pit bull, and I would be like the crazy one, and he was like, you know, the TV tapings were the next day in Full Sail, so he was like, you know, I can't, you know, anything could change and stuff like that, but just be ready, have some street clothes with you. And I had jeans, which was good, so I had jeans, and I had like a wife beater tank top, and then I went kind of shopping and stuff and found like a denim jacket, and I think I was thinking of Triple H's look with the denim jacket and the leather jacket, so I found a denim jacket. And then the next day, and no one had said anything to me, so I maybe assumed that maybe something had changed and maybe they just wanted it, you know, maybe not. And then it happened, like that day, the Terry Taylor walked by me and he was like, "Oh, you're with me tonight," and I was like, "When did you start producing like the women's matches?" I was like, "Huh?" And he was like, "No, you're with my boys," and then that's when I knew, and I was like, Wolf and, you know, Sawyer and stuff like that, they were happy, and then like Eric was happy, and we were just, that was the group, and we debuted that night. We filmed it, and then it aired a few weeks later, and kick-started everything, and then it's just been amazing. Like, it was the perfect role, I think. Like, I can't imagine doing another role, like I really can't, and I think it's so good because it's been my real life personality, and it's just very much exaggerated, really exaggerated, so. And
do you like the element of, like, you know, as part of SAnitY, like sometimes you'll just get on one of the guys and start beating them as well? It's kind of like almost like a China comparison. You know, she would do that back in the day where she would hit a guy, and it's kind of this like, well, I can't really hit you back, and it's this weird kind of like, there's a weird hesitance from a guy there, and it's a cool dynamic. Are you happy to be able to do stuff like that really stands out?
That is probably one of my favourite things about being in the group. It's left me with a lot of directions to go in, and I'm still wrestling in the women's division, and so for me it's perfect. I get the best of both worlds, and it's just, I love that dynamic that you've got this small tiny girl who's going to jump on your back and try and like scratch her face off, but you can't really hit her, you know. And it was really good because I actually opened up Ruby Riott coming in, and we had the big 8-person tag in Orlando takeover, so it's opened up stuff for other people as well, and I love it. I think it's great.
And obviously Triple H had said in the conference call for the Chicago takeover that, you know, it is fair to say the women's division and NXT and as a whole has been going through a little bit of a rebuild phase, because a lot of the guys and girls were taken up to the main roster, and I think it's safe to say, not blowing smoke, but the match with you and Ruby Riott and Asuka at TakeOver Chicago felt like the first time in a long time where it felt like it was believable somebody could beat Asuka. You know, it felt like, and there's that great bit where there's, you know, on the outside with the ring apron.
I loved that. That was my favourite part.
And
we're going to do it again, I think. She deserves it. I'm just kidding.
But like, how cool is that for you, and how important is that for you that you guys want to make sure that being in the women's division now, you guys are rebuilding it, you guys are making sure that it's just as important as it was before?
For me, it's this. It's a responsibility that we all have, and I think we've all embraced that and ran with it. And I think the match with Asuka and Ruby Riott, in a lot of the matches, there's this energy, and we are trying to show the world that, you know, we're not. For me, I'm a wrestler. Like, I almost, when someone says women's wrestling, I'm almost like, you don't need the women part. Like, you just need the fact that I'm a wrestler. When someone says, you know, yeah, like women's wrestling, for me, like, I love that chant, but for me it's also that we're all good wrestlers, and we're all really trying to make the women's division, we're trying to make it the best it can be. We're trying to make NXT the best it can be. We're trying to make WWE the best it can be. We're all working together as a family. We're working together as a unit. We're trying to make these stories and really just give the people something, you know, if they're watching something on the WWE network, we want them to feel that connection to us. And that's the most important thing for me, is the storytelling aspect and the people getting our stories and getting the people that we are, and that connection that we have is so important. And I think without that connection, like, you need that connection, I think.
And I think it's important as well for the fans, like, that how cool it is in NXT, that fighting for the NXT Women's Championship, you have a Japanese undefeated woman, a Scottish pit bull, and a gothy sort of Ruby Riott as well.
Spunky.
And you get Ember Moon back in the mix. It's a really cool division. But I know that you're wrestling tonight, so I don't want to take up too much more of your time. But I do need to ask you, the Mae Young Classic is coming up later on this year. We don't know who's going to be in it. We don't know if there's going to be people from the NXT roster or the main roster or outside. Would you like to be in it, and would that be something that would be important to you to try and be a part of?
The Mae Young Classic, when it was announced, we were all like so excited, and it's going to be really special, and to be a part of that is going to be such an amazing honour. And I think any time I would be able to mix up and cause a little bit of chaos and havoc, I would do that quite happily. And we're just excited, and that's going to be on the network over the summer and stuff like that. It is exciting to be a part of, and I'm dying to see who's going to be in it and dying to see the names, and it's going to be something really special.
And I know you've got a lot of memories left to create, but what's your favourite memory in WWE so far that you've had? I liked going through the table at San Antonio. That was actually the first time I've ever went through a table, so that was fun. I think being able to open the show in Orlando Takeover with basically 3 really good friends, and there was just something special about the 4 of that. Was the first time the 4 of us had done a takeover together, SAnitY as a group, and we came out and we had the face paint on, and there was something that was really special to me. And then we opened the show and the fans were just going nuts, and I don't know, I think that was probably most, yeah. We'll go with that or the table. They can draw. And just finally, what would you say you miss from Scotland? Is it Jaffa Cakes still?
It's still Jaffa Cakes.
What is it about Jaffa Cakes that's head above the rest?
You just you can dip them in your tea. You can eat them on their own. And there's that debate: are they a cookie? Are they a cake? Are they a biscuit? There's that debate.
Where do you stand on that debate? It's a very important issue.
I mean, they're called Jaffa Cakes, and to me, a cookie is, what's the make of a cookie? Maryland cookie.
Yeah.
Is that the name?
Yeah.
That's a cookie to me. So I'm going to go with it. I think they're a very small cake. But I do understand, my mum calls them biscuits, so I do understand the
Iron Brew, do you miss
debate.
that? Do you miss Iron Brew?
I actually don't.
You don't miss Iron Brew?
I don't like fizzy juice. Sorry.
Healthy.
Costa, I do miss Costa. We don't actually have Costas in America.
Right.
So maybe I should open up the first Costa.
There you
maybe.
go. Be your backup career. Open that Performance Centre. Nikki Cross, thank you very much.
Thank you so
Good
much
luck.
for your time.
We'll be back soon.